Hey everybody, Max here. I decided to go ahead and make a next tank duo video. I was doing a bunch of duoing and then I just kind of stopped, and a bunch of my friends wanted my little setup, my gear setups, and how I approach tanking next in a duo. So here it is. Right across the screen right now is different gear setups, explanations, and stuff. I won't go into detail in the video. I will put it in the description just because it would take probably a good 10 minutes to explain everything and why I brought this instead of that, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and start. The first phase is the smoke phase, which is by far one of the easiest phases if done right. So go ahead, overload, prayer renewal, get your prayers, and get set up. Your goal is to pull next out of the center of the room, which I kind of fail here. I'm used to doing it with magic. This is the first Drygores. So once you get next, pull it around the corner here so that next lines up nice and straight with the other side. Hurry up and hit anticipate, which I accidentally hit provoke first, and I get pulled in, which again, it is completely random. Other than it goes, let the virus flow through you, and then anytime then she would pull you. But just go ahead and hit freedom to get out of that, and then line back up in your spot and continue to DPS using anticipate and provoke as much as possible whenever they come up. Like I said, this is pretty straightforward, just DPS. Again, provoke keeps them off your DPS, which is very, very important. Nothing's more annoying than getting hit with a DPS. Once next hits 160,000 HP, it will start the shadow phase. Alright, now the shadow phase, I prefer to use magic, although it is very possible to do this with dual Drygores again. It's just really annoying because after 2 ticks you have to move away from next, otherwise you get hit. So it's easier just to stay at a distance and continue to attack next without really worrying about it. Continue DPS. You can use Virtus Book with this, but instead I decided that I was going to use the majority of my DPS and my blood phase. I was going to do dual Drygores instead of dual virts, so I just brought my shield. So I was relying on my DPS to do the majority of the damage during this phase, but I am also in full Tectonic, so I do quite a bit of damage. The shadows underneath your feet will spawn at regular intervals. You can get a little timer as soon as you get used to it, exactly how long it would take before the next one will spawn. It's easy to predict. Again, prey range in here. Also, if you are going to use asphyxiate or other thresholds that do take a little bit of time, make sure you do it just after a shadow is spawned. It's the only time you can really do it. Now, as soon as that phase is over, you go ahead and pull next right here. Again, it'll line it up and it will keep the shadows from attacking your DPS, who is dealing with the minion. Okay, now the beginning of the blood phase. Pray magic, and she will start off with a siphon. It's very important you don't attack during the siphon, and me and my DPS just kind of ignore the minions during this time. This is actually a really successful blood phase. Sometimes it does take more than one attempt, but we only do it in one attempt, which is quite nice. It definitely speeds it up. Blood phase is the fastest phase if you do it right. If not, it can take infinite time if it continues to heal. So again, just wait till the ice phase then. Alright, the ice phase, which is by far one of the hardest phases to tank. Go ahead and pray magic, and it is very important you wear a shield. At the beginning of the phase, as soon as the minion's dead and next says infuse me with the power of ice, hit anticipate. In this video, she uses contain. This is not what I was looking for, but it still works. Just run away like normal. And she does pray mage. I forget to go ahead and switch to Drygores right away, but as soon as she says die now in a prison of ice, if contain was first, go ahead and use freedom and then barricade. Barricade is your first option for this because it will completely negate all damage that you take. It does take a little bit of practice. You do get really nervous and you freak out the first couple times. but afterwards it'll get easier. It is very important to keep Nex on you the entire time, because Nex usually melees the majority of this phase, so keep hitting provoke. Again, just keep alternating anticipate and freedom, so that you can constantly get out of the stun and continue to eat after the second prism if you do not have full adrenaline, which I didn't. So again, continue to DPS and survive. You will rely on your DPS for the majority of the damage during this phase. Your main goal is just to survive through this phase. It is very important at the end, if the die in a prism device was the last thing called before the minion is dead, you need to stay away from your DPS, because contain this can kill your DPS. And again, as soon as contain this is done, run a little bit and then hit anticipate, because die in a prison device is coming, and then you go ahead and eat through it, and then your DPS will hopefully have the minion dead and come over and help. Now the Zaro's phase. It is very, very possible to do this without eating at all. The number one main thing is to stay within melee range of Nex and have your DPS on the other side of you, so this way you know exactly how much damage you're taking and how much damage your DPS is taking. Also, you have to watch, you can see on the top, it says Nex's health, and then it will say her protection prayers. When she uses Soul Split, it is very important to use Deliberate or other defensive abilities to nerf her attack a little bit. It is because she will heal as much damage as she does to you. So again, it is very, very important. You can also, when you're low on health, use Renaissance and then switch off your prayer. Again, make sure you are very, very comfortable with Nex before you start doing this, because you want to watch your timer for the defensive ability, and then it will heal you a lot of HP if your prayer is off. If your prayer is still on, it won't heal you as much. So again, prayer switching, you just have to be really comfortable. You also have to watch your prayer in this phase. Your prayer is drained a lot. I am actually using Penance right now, and I am still drinking lots of prayer. When Nex gets right below 10k HP, get to 100% adrenaline and then use Barricade. Even if she's not using Soul Split, it makes the end of the phase a lot faster because she will no longer do damage to you. However, if your DPS is very, very good and you're very comfortable with your DPS being able to do a lot of damage really fast, you can go ahead and save your adrenaline and use Rejuvenate, Gothic's Blessing, whatever you want, to go ahead and then heal you back up to health to start the next kill. Special thanks to my DPS named Steve. I will also write down the equipment setup that he used for DPS in the description. Thanks to my old clan leader Dar, who gave me all the Nex practice. I was his tank for many, many, many trips. And the K family clan, I used to tank during their clan events, and also brought a lot of practice and made all of this knowledge possible. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in future videos.